Hi everybody and welcome back to Smack Talk. It's been a little while. As you may or may not know, I've been in New York City, partying it up with the Bullet Club, enjoying WrestleMania and hanging out with Gaijin clubs, so a little bit knackered, still moderately jet lagged, but still bringing you the show nonetheless. And we're back with another Fans Roundtable. So with us, as always, is Queen of NE. Hello, Queen.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, you know how I am, because you just interviewed me and you heard exactly how I am.
Did. So true,
yes.
But I'm going to ask anyway.
Okay, well, in the most British of ways, I am fine. Thank you for asking. Which is a blatant lie. But still, anyway, moving swiftly on. We're also joined today by Charlie, who runs Charlie Delanoy Photography and all sorts of other wonderful ventures that you're about to tell us about.
Hey, yeah, I do. Yeah. Well, photography is my game mainly, but I do have a bits and bobs here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, and you're also a massive die-hard wrestling fan.
Yeah, got to say I am.
And apparently,
not many of us out there, ladies.
Apparently, some vibrating device went off at someone's portal there.
Yeah,
I don't know what that was. That you? Oh my god! We've set the tone early. So. Excellent. Should just let everybody know we did have a fourth member of the panel, Jess, but she was unable to make it due to work commitments. So we are a three-person panel. So basically, the idea was this was going to be an all-female panel, aside from myself, of course, in honour of the WrestleMania Women's Main Event. Unfortunately, that means now that I'm going to be the third honorary woman in the panel. So, gender reassignments, vibrating devices, we're all good. Let's rock and roll. So,
oh, Lord, help us.
Oh, it's a good one already. So, obviously, Queen, you're familiar with the format. Charlie, you're new, so give you a bit of an overview. What we've got here is a spinning wheel of doom with all our names on it, all our Twitter handles. But as you didn't have a Twitter handle, you are at Charlie. We spin the wheel, and whoever it lands on gets to bring the topic to the table, and it's really that simple. What could possibly go wrong?
Did it not work? Who knows?
Well, let's find out. We're going to spin the wheel. There it goes. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, so it's me again. And for
this is rigged. It's rigged, I'm telling you.
Bloody rigged. We had this last time with 8-Bit Ray and Jeff. And
we did.
It's not rigged. I swear. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to spin it again. There.
You can rules. Go first. No, it's your show, honey.
God, it's landed on me again. It's actually... Okay.
It wants you.
Just... Why me? All right, fine. So let's be professional about this. Obviously, we've had the Superstar Shake-Up this week on Raw and SmackDown, and a modicum of it on NXT, I believe. A certain team got called up who are very well known in Japan as War Machine. They were very well known on NXT as War Raiders, and they have had their entire gimmick flipped on its arse, and they're now called, and I threw up in my mouth a little bit as I'm about to say this, Viking Experience, and they're Eric and Igor or something, or Ivar, or I don't even know. Yeah,
Ivar.
So my question is this, because we've had this before with Vince McMahon, and he loves to screw around with people's gimmicks. He tried to call Vader the Mastodon for the longest time, and things like that. People who are so well known as one thing and then become another thing. So my question is, do you feel that a gimmick is more important than a reputation? Yes or no? And obviously why?
I'm going to have to say no on this one.
So no, that a gimmick's not more important than someone's reputation?
Gosh, no.
Okay.
Gimmick, yeah. Well, what can I say about gimmicks? When you've got people like Tyler Breeze and Fandango, and they had, what was that? Fandango something or other. What was that?
What, Breezango?
Why? Breezango, that was it. Breezango. What? Why? Oh, and then you had Bo Dallas and I can't even remember who was else with them, but they had like the Bo Train. What was going on? What is this?
Well, that got over so
well. He was
well,
amazing on NXT.
Yeah.
and then he's now a jobber. So like the gimmicks just make the wrestlers into complete jobbers, and you just hate them for it. And the New Day are a gimmick, aren't they? And I can't say I'm a fan of them either.
Wow. Okay, so
Oh no.
Gimmicks are not good. Gimmicks are bad. They ruin their reputation,
so
I think.
you feel that someone who's come in like War Machine, who've come in from New Japan, should just be known as being them, you know, Hansen and Rowe, rather than it being whatever they're now called, and just go with their reputation.
Again, on NXT, they were amazing on NXT. War Raiders, it was great. War Raiders worked for them with the whole war thing.
Yep.
And now it's Vikings. Yeah. Why? I don't know. It's Raw for you. It's the main roster. That's all I can say. It's the main roster.
Fair enough. Queen, do you want to step in on this one?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Yeah, you know what you're in for here. But here's my problem, okay? People have been given terrible gimmicks, terrible names throughout wrestling history, and they have, you know, if they're good, can make the most out of a situation. Example, Dana Brooke, insanely talented, given the statistician moniker in Titus Worldwide. Was that the best spot for her? No. Did she make the most of her opportunity? Yes, she did. Because she was on TV almost every week. And she did her best job 110% in this terrible gimmick for her. Does that lessen her as a wrestler? No. Do I hate the people who write creative for it? Yes. And that is exactly how I feel about this Viking Experience garbage. In fact, I'm going to refuse to call them that. And they're just going to be the War Raiders.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, you know, talk about how the USA Network doesn't want to hear war chanted millions of times over when they come out. Okay, whatever. But here's the thing that you just did. By calling them the Viking Experience and pissing off the whole of the wrestling community, you're going to get it now even louder than you would have if you changed to something else and or just called them Eric and Rowe or Hansen and Rowe or Ivar and Rowe. Ivar and Hansen, whatever the fuck you want to do with these names.
Okay.
Just like pick one, right? Don't change both. And just, you know, go with that. Would we have all been surprised? Yes. Would we have reacted the way that we did? Oh, no, I don't think so.
Definitely not.
So, yeah, I mean, that's a very valid point, because it's like, I don't know how it is in the US, but over here we've got pretty strict laws on like cigarettes. And they're kept behind black screens in supermarkets and, you know, corner shops and all that, so that kids can't see them, in an effort to stop kids from smoking. And all it's done is made it more tempting. So realistically, by, like you said, by changing their name to that hideous mess that they've changed it to, it's made it even more tempting, and it's like baiting the fans into chanting war, which is the thing they don't want. So what they're going to do, mute the entirety of Raw whilst that team is on?
Well, they do it anyway.
Well,
they don't like what they're chanting, so I guess they'll just do it again.
They definitely muted us on the Raw after WrestleMania, that's for sure. Oh, man.
No kidding, huh?
Yeah, there was a lot of chance it didn't make it.
It's a good example, like with CM Punk. People are still chanting CM Punk after, nearly 5 years now he's been out of the company, and people are still chanting it.
Yeah.
We're just going to do it. We are. We're forced to be reckoned with.
I think it's not even necessarily that it's for CM Punk. It's just a protest thing.
Sure,
like,
it is. It's just because we can, and the WWE hate it.
Well, that, and also the thing that happened on this Monday Night Raw, the one after WrestleMania. Everyone's going on about how it was a really bad Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania and how it's the worst one and blah blah blah. But what they failed to realise is that for the first time in I don't know how many years, fans came away from WrestleMania satisfied with the results and didn't want to chant anything random because they were enjoying themselves. You know, the atmosphere at Raw was amazing because we were buzzing from the night before. And everyone was so behind all the decisions that were made, and everything was rosy and peaches and cream and bluebirds singing and you name it. And then we got to the main event, and this stupid, needless run-in happened, total throwaway run-in that does nothing for anybody, ruins a perfectly good match that we were really enjoying, and then you just know you're going to get the same old crap. So the fans just turned on a dime and just booed it and chanted at it and threw beach balls. I mean, I've never seen so many beach balls in my life, and I live near the beach, so I mean, that's telling you something. And you had, firsthand, you had like guys that were sort of production crew running around the crowd, like trying to stop people chanting, like they were sort of waving their arms up and down to stop people chanting. There was a guy in a grey hoodie thing who, weirdly enough, I thought was another fan trying to rush the ring at one point. But he was running up and down the stairways of the fans and like around the aisleways on the floor, trying to grab beach balls and get rid of them. Like, it was unreal.
Crazy.
They were doing everything in their power to stop that noise and that reaction from the fans. And the more they did it, the worse it got. So, you know, there's a lot to be said for keeping fans happy. And I'm not saying that means that you should always pander to fans, not at all, because you need good storylines and angles. But bringing it back to topic, when you've got a team that are so well beloved as War Machine, War Raiders, you know, whatever you know them as, and you're excited to see them come up to the main roster, and suddenly bloody Viking Experience or It's a Small World After All or whatever comes up on the screen, suddenly it's like, what are you doing? You know, you've just taken something we love and absolutely shit it down the toilet.
Right.
So I think in that regard, reputation does outweigh gimmick to a degree, because they're so well known that any gimmick you give them, they're just going to be known as who they were.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. And also, I don't think, you know, is it going to lessen the fact that we love them so much? I don't think so. You know, it's not their thing. Obviously, they're not going to come out and be like, yeah, let's be called the Viking Experience, because no one wants to do that. So they were obviously told, and they're going to do what they do. They're the War Raiders. Mm-hmm. They're still great. Or War Machine, if you knew them back in Japan. Mm-hmm. Great. They're going to be that anyway. They're going to put on a banger of a show. And that's, I think, the most important takeaway, right?
That's hope.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, as long as they don't do to them what they did to the Ascension.
Well, that is my other concern.
Mm.
They are going to be great. Whatever creative does is really the question, right?
Yeah. That's
definitely.
Fair. Mm. I mean, I suppose in a way we can expand upon that by looking at really the booking of a gimmick rather than the gimmick itself. So, like you were saying, you know, if they are booked correctly, the name will probably get shortened, because that's what Vince likes to do as well, is just chop people's names in half.
It'll be the VE.
Yeah, as long as it's not the VD.
Mustafa Ali, haven't they? He's now just Ali.
Yeah, which is
ridiculous.
Why did they take Mustafa out? What was the problem with it?
Well, he hates that change as well, because Mustafa is quite a big thing in his culture. Like the name, I forget what it means. It's like chosen one or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he picked it, because it meant something. And now they've just gone, yeah, you're just going to be Ali now. So. Yeah,
so I was sort of thinking, is he going to be going heel or something, or is it just he just wants a little tiny name for him or something?
Well, they've done it to so many people. Like Cesaro was, I'll try that in English. He was Antonio Cesaro when he first debuted.
And now he's just
yeah, it was Alexander Rusev.
Yeah,
as well. Vladimir Kozlov. You know, all these guys, they ended up with their names chopped in half.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even Santino Marella just ended up as being Santino.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean we'll just get triple? Or just H?
I know. And same with like Roman Reigns. Will it just be Reigns?
Or Roman?
See, that's my question for you.
Yeah.
Why does John Cena, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, they're all going to have their names. Can you imagine Daniel Bryan just being Bryan?
I know, it'd be hilarious.
In a way, actually, I could. Just because he was...
That is his real name.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson.
And who was it? He was in Kofi was calling him Bryan, wasn't he? On that run up to WrestleMania.
It was weird. But they haven't changed their names, of these individuals at least. And I don't know that they ever will. Daniel Bryan, maybe only because of his gimmick right now, if they're going to stay with it, he may just be like, my name's Bryan, and I'm vegan, and blah, blah, blah. So, possibly, but so far up to this point, and he's been with the company a long time, Nothing. It's been the same.
I still want him to go back to his American Dragon gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
Just go all in, like martial arts, vegan, you name it.
Me too.
That would be cool.
We've gone way off track again. But
We have. That's okay.
this happens a lot. So- oh man.
Like I said to you earlier, I could talk about wrestling all day. It would just keep going.
Yeah, and as I said to you, you may well have to, because this could be a really short show with only 3 of us. So has anyone got any other points to expand upon this idea of gimmicks versus reputation?
No, I think we've hit it on the nail, to be honest. Like
Yeah,
what
I
we
think so too.
That was easy.
Well, we're all in agreement, so I
Almost
guess
too easy.
that kind of works.
Yeah, it does. It does work. So, cool. All right. Well, let's go back to this beautiful, glorious wheel and remove me from it so that no one thinks it's fixed. Again. And, right, we'll give her a spin. All right, Queenie, you're up.
Okay. Well, here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
So because this is a ladies panel, as you described it, Rich, and welcome to the club.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's fun here. So here's my question.
Sorry.
That's okay. Evolution. They're going to have to do a second one, I believe. And I think they want to do a second one. So my question is, what do we want as the main events? And I say events plural for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Of this Evolution 2 pay-per-view. Who do we want to see spotlighted in the women's division?
Yeah.
That's quite hard.
Coming with the hard-hitting questions.
Because I initially, when you said Evolution, I was thinking Triple H, Randy Orton, that group. And then I remembered there's a pay-per-view called that. So,
well, I had to clarify, which you did.
I'm glad you did, because
okay.
that could have been really awkward. Charlie, do you want to jump in on this?
Yeah, go on then. Well, talent-wise, wow, the women's division, we have some amazing talent on the roster. But so many of us so unused. It's sad to see, to be honest. You've got people like Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. They're on the roster all the time. Their wrestling's extremely samey, boring, and spoon-fed. Obviously, because of who they are. I want to see people like Amber Moon, Nikki Cross, Naomi, all those sort of talent. Dana Brooke, she's amazing. The gymnastics that she can do is just insane. But they're so underused. They're not being given a chance. I want to see these ladies on the main oh God, I can't think what I'm trying to say. The main matches. I want to see these girls trying to go for the gold, going for the belts. Because obviously you've got Becky Lynch at the moment. I'm not a big fan of Becky Lynch. I think her gimmick has just become a bit too much at the moment. And again, they're just penalising only a couple of the women when they've got so much great talent out there. So, yeah, I'd have to say that's who I'd want to see. Dana Brooke going out there, Nikki Cross, Amber Moon, because, again, they were amazing on NXT. Then they've come over to the main roster and they've just sort of been B-carders and being put with silly gimmicks, like you were saying earlier with Titus O'Neil and being part of Titus Worldwide. And she was hardly wrestling. She was being seen and whatnot, but she wasn't being seen in a good way, I wouldn't have thought. So, yeah, I'd say I want these women to be put out there and but stop putting the spotlight on Charlotte Flair. I noticed that Ronda Rousey has disappeared for a bit. She is so boring to watch. Her wrestling skills are diabolical.
Oh
Like,
no.
Again, it's another Brock Lesnar situation. Like, she's got there because of who she is and what she's done before, but her wrestling capabilities is nothing on other women. That she shouldn't have been given that belt from the start, I don't think, because she didn't earn it. She needed to earn it.
But
now
I
she's gone.
respect that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's flames creeping up from your side now.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
Jesus
Some
Christ.
people I just don't like, and those two are the ones I just don't like. Charlotte Flair because she's spoon-fed because of her daddy.
How do you feel about
And-
Baron Corbin?
Oh,
I can't stand. I used to love him. I
Oh,
thought he was
no.
fantastic, but then he got his gimmick.
Oh God, it's
See?
8-bit Ray again.
It is.
He's in disguise.
Listen, we
Okay.
all don't like Baron Corbin. Oh, God.
It's the gimmick.
Oh, he's
WWE gimmick.
he's.
I used to like him, though, in NXT.
Yeah, I liked him like when NXT and when he first came to Raw. But now he's just sort of gone. Now, I can do this because I was that, and blah 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 blah. It's like,
Blah,
oh, God,
blah. Shh, be quiet. Sir.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Don't mind me. I'm just sat here. It's all good.
What do you think, Rich? What do you think about Evolution 2?
Oh right, I was going to say just in general, I'd probably need a Valium or something. I think, to be honest, the first one was such a diabolical shit show.
Yes.
They've got to go a long
Right.
way to fix it. The production was dire. There was sound issues. It was treated like it was a house show
Yep.
with
Yeah.
basically zero respect for anything that was going on. And they shoehorned together this card out of, oh God, we've got too many women. What do we do with them? Shove them here, there, and everywhere. Nothing made sense.
Sure.
So for me, I feel like you need the balance between your classic divas, if you want to call them that, or female superstars from back in the day that helped put it on the map. But at the same time, you've got to showcase your main talent. And I agree with Charlie. You've got too many of the same names. It's like the men's roster as well. There's too many of the same names getting the same matches over and over and over again. I feel like I do like Becky Lynch, and I think she's earned her spot. So if she wasn't in the main event, it would be a shame. But I want to see someone like, I don't know, who am I looking for? Oh, for God's sake. I've lost the thread. Where's she gone?
Throw some names at you.
Yeah.
We can throw some names at you.
Throw some names at me, because my brain is a mush.
Ruby Riott.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh,
Straight
no.
off the bat. Yeah.
Thank you.
Did I just hear a groan from the Charlie
Oh
direction?
no! Oh no! Yeah, I can't stand her.
Oh, how very dare you! Oh my God!
Oh,
They've split up.
I really like her. I just.
They've split up the Riot Squad as well.
I know.
Oh God, no! Oh
Why?
no!
Like,
They're awful.
oh, they're not. How
They're
are
just
they?
not much.
So
They're so.
okay,
What is happening?
right? Let me give some clarity on this one, because I feel that I need to
Okay.
defend my choices now.
Go for it.
This never happens when men are in the panel, you know. Anyway,
Hey, you better
you forget I turned heel on your podcast last week, so
Yeah.
this is all
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I'll win you back. So I would if I could remember what the hell I was saying. Oh, there we go. So when they came up, right, you had the Riot Squad put together out of Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riott, and then you had what were they called? I was going to say Ascension. It's not the Ascension, is it? Bloody Paige thingy and what's it? You know.
Paige, Mandy, and Sonia.
Yes,
Absolution.
That's him. Absolution, yes. And they are literally carbon copies of each other when they came up. You had one on Raw, one on SmackDown. Totally the same thing. You had the Gothic one, you had the alternative one, so you had your Ruby Riott and your Paige. You had the Blondie, so Liv Morgan and Mandy Rose, and then you had the sort of tomboy, hard-ass fighter in Sarah Logan and Sonya Deville. So they were literally carbon copies of each other. Total, like, non-entities, both, coming forward. Now that you've split the Riot Squad up, I say you, it wasn't you, it was WWE who split them up. One of them's got to do something, right? And I don't feel like, as much as I love Liv Morgan, I don't think she's ready. Sarah Logan, yeah, she could kick ass. And I'm wondering if they're going to put her with Oh, I nearly said it again then. War Raiders. I think they could put her with them, to be honest.
Well, yeah, that's her husband.
Well, yeah,
so.
exactly. And plus their gimmicks fit.
Mm-hmm.
So, add to the Viking experience by chucking her in there. I'm sorry. It really hurts me to say it as well.
It's painful, isn't it?
Why didn't they call them Raw Machine or Raw Raiders? Just reverse the lettering.
Yeah.
And then you get a similar chant. You could just chant Raw, which also does wonders for the show itself.
There you go.
Just, farting ideas.
We're still trying to solve this problem.
This has been all week.
We'll never get to.
No.
No.
But back to the ladies. So Ruby Riott, for me, has got one hell of a backstory, like in real life, that was told on WWE's YouTube, of all places, I think. And it actually moved me to tears. Like, her background is so harsh, and she's fought so hard to get to where she is, that if she doesn't get a shot, it's going to be a criminal act by WWE, because she's a really talented wrestler. Has paid her dues in the indies. You were saying about Ronda Rousey hasn't paid her dues. Okay, well, she's been megastar in UFC, but in the wrestling world, she's done nothing. She's been around a year, and her debut match was at WrestleMania against the bosses of the company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and she, for all the platitudes she said when she was cutting promos of, I don't want to go straight into the main event, I want to earn it, I want to work my way up from the bottom. She never jobbed to anybody. She never... she ran undefeated for a while. She wasn't pinned, and it's just the same old crap, again and again and again. And I like Ronda. I think she's serviceable. I think over time she's going to become a great wrestler. But I don't like how. What was that snort? Was there a snort then? Did I hear a snort?
Not for me.
Oh, I thought I heard someone snort at the idea of Ronda becoming a great wrestler.
Nope.
I'll edit this back and I'll be like, there was a snort in there. Anyway, by the by, for now, she should be as far away from that title as possible.
Definitely.
However,
and I think she's gonna be.
Yeah.
She posted that she's on what she called an impregnation vacation.
Well, that's charming.
So she's going to try to have a baby, if you didn't get what that meant.
Wow.
She wasn't flat out clear. So I think she's going to be gone for a little while.
I'm not sure
which is probably good for the division.
Yeah, I'm not sure which makes me throw up in my mouth more, the idea of what you said or the Viking thing.
The Viking experience. It's still terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, this generation scares me. Anyway, so I've lost my thread again. All the talk of impregnations and Vikings and
it's okay.
Yeah, for me, Ruby Riott is one. Obviously, I think if Becky Lynch is still holding the title by then, then or both titles, or one of them, maybe they'll unify them. Who knows? Other than that, I mean, I agree with Ember Moon completely. She needs her moment in the sun. Dana Brooke, maybe. Not 100% sold on her. When she came in, she was a House of Fire in NXT, and then has been kept out of the ring for so goddamn long. She feels like she came up to the main roster and lost all her wrestling ability, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, she's lost a lot of weight, I've noticed. She's not as muscly and bulky as she was.
No, she's not.
Well,
I think she's had some health issues.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe that's why she wasn't wrestling. I mean, I'm sure this is all over Google or one of the dirt sheets, but it is what it is. Other than that, Alexa Bliss, I like. I think she's great. I think her character work is fantastic. Huh?
She's been there and done it.
Yeah, but not
Someone
recently.
fresh.
The thing as well, like Charlotte has been
always there.
Yeah, and I still stand by this. I think they're trying to give her 16 title runs before Ric Flair snuffs it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I reckon.
That wouldn't surprise me, to be honest.
Because what's she on?
No, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
She's on like 8 in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know it's insane.
Yeah, and I know women's careers are shorter than men's for some bizarro reason that I've never understood.
I take the being banged around so much, I think.
Yeah, I guess. Either that or they want to go on impregnation vacations and, you know.
And that
Who knows? But yeah, those are my kind of picks. And Asuka as well. I'd really like to see her come up and do something meaningful.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree.
Isn't she? So
What's that?
she's now in a tag team, isn't she?
Oh yeah, with Kyrie. Yeah.
Yeah, and Paige is sort of their manager.
Yeah. Again, that purely comes down to the xenophobic American audience that can't understand a Japanese accent. So, good-o.
Yeah, well, I mean, they used to tag in Japan.
They did,
and they were phenomenal then. And if you watched that match on SmackDown and you got to see the movesets that they have already, just from like, oh, hey, remember we used to do this? Yeah, let's do that again. And they're fabulous. And I think they're going to be really, really great.
Yes.
And I hope that they get the championship sometime soon. But
yeah, he's got it, the Iconics.
Yes, they're brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their heel work is pretty good. They're growing on me. I can't listen to their voices very much, but
I have to chime in on this.
But they are flipping annoying.
I have to chime in on this because little David will never forgive me if I don't. He marked out like crazy. He's from Melbourne, and one of the Gaijin Club guys, Ace. He's David Ventura, so we call him Ace, and in the King of Originality stakes. But we were watching that match, and he bloody flipped out. I might even stick some footage of it in here just because it's hilarious, but I've never seen him so happy in his life. And for him, and he was explaining to us, like, all the girls in Australia like sound like that, basically, or 99% of them, especially where he comes from. He said they all sound like that. So to hear that horrifying accent on main events of wrestling on WWE television, is for him, it's just the funniest thing, and he loves it.
Sure.
So
I don't even know if it's their accent. It doesn't bother me. It's the shrillness of their tone.
In England, I'd say they'd be like the Essex people. That's how they act.
Essex or Scouse?
Like, fake, really fake. And that's. I'm not a fan of the old fakeness. Like they look like people that would go out and have their boobs done, their lips done every week, their hair done, their nails, blah 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 blah. That's what they remind me of. But in Australia.
Hey, Dave Meltzer, how you doing?
Goodness gracious.
Back there again. That asshole's back. Yeah, I mean, for me, they're just iconic, and that's all I can say about it. They're just great. Do you not like him, seriously?
No, I don't.
Wow, you don't
They're
like.
really mean.
Are you sure you're not 8-bit Ray in disguise?
I don't like many people.
Well, yes, fair. Neither does
right.
he.
I mean, what you like, I'm sure you like a lot.
I do see you like people. Just there's not many of them.
I gotcha.
Oh wow.
Well, as far as the ladies, I'm really interested to see what Ember Moon's going to do. Nikki Cross is my girl. I really like her. I'm kind of hoping that these vignettes that they've been playing for Bray Wyatt with the buzzard in a box and the doll in the rocking chair, I'm kind of hoping that they're going to make Nikki Cross be Sister Abigail.
Oh, I don't want that. No.
What? Are you kidding me?
That'd be amazing.
The best ever.
No.
It'd be so. Yes.
No, because she's dead. So why?
She's not really dead.
But she is, and it's not. Oh,
There's
because
realness.
No,
She can do whatever she wants
crap.
to.
Because they're gonna pitch it that she's his sister, and she's not. She was a nun at the orphanage where he grew up. That was the whole backstory of Bray Wyatt. Was he was an orphan that was raised by a mythical nun called Sister Abigail, who would kiss him goodnight. And that's why his finish is called Sister Abigail's Kiss, because that was...
Okay, well, she can be somebody else then that goes with that whole thing. I think she'd be great.
Oh, please. Put her in a buzzard costume, like the Gobbledygooker or something, and send her... Oh, it'd be amazing.
No!
Call her
Why would you want to put her in that?
You could call her the Buzzard Experience, and it would be awesome.
Oh my God, no!
Now you're just trolling. Stop.
Little bit,
Nikki
yeah.
Cross is great, and
I
I
Nikki
want her
Cross.
to be featured in a more permanent way. I just thought it would be fun to have her with Bray Wyatt since they've broken up Sanity, and I think it would be fun to have her, not repackaged, just the same as she is in her lovable, crazy way. I just think she'd be cool with Bray. It would be a lot of fun. She can be cool on her own. She doesn't have to be with anybody. I just would like to see her pushed, and I would love another last women's standing match with her versus Asuka,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I know Asuka's in a team and probably will be for a long while. But that was like an unbelievable match, and if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It's wonderful. So really, her and Ember Moon, I'm actually kind of excited to see what they'll let Ruby Riott do, but I'm also excited to see what they'll do with Liv Morgan. I think she has the potential to be a lot of things. She's very young. She's got some green in her still that could be worked out over time. But every time I see her little Harley Quinn rebelness, it just reminds me of AJ Lee.
That's true.
And that's a character I'm missing a lot. I miss AJ Lee a lot. And I don't think Liv will ever be AJ Lee. That's not what I mean. I just mean that whole vibe I feel like would fit her very well.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, she really rocks the problem child thing, doesn't she? What was it she calls herself?
Yeah.
The, I can't remember.
The delinquent.
Yeah, that's it.
Child delinquent.
Yeah. I mean, going back to Ruby Riott, I wonder if she's going to be Sister Abigail, actually. Because if you're going to do it, I think she fits more than Nikki Cross. And I'd rather see Nikki Cross on her own than Ruby Riott.
Okay.
Just throwing that in the mix, because I'm, really concerned.
That could be interesting.
Well, she's more akin to that area of the States, I believe, isn't she? I think she's from... I can't remember where she's from now. Where's she... One of you two must know.
Ruby Riott. Where's she from? I feel like I used to know this, and I don't really quite remember anymore.
Because her accent's close to... It feels like it's closer to Bray's than... I mean, well, definitely closer to it than Nikki's.
Well, yeah.
Oh, she's from Michigan.
Okay.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, I don't think she sounds...
Yeah.
I don't think she sounds like she's from Michigan at all.
No, that's what I mean. Like, I would never have put her from Michigan. I thought she was from one of the southern states, but...
Yeah, she does sound fun.
Maybe that's just because I'm weird and British and don't understand, but...
Well, yeah, everyone sounds the same.
Yeah. Oh, no, we're getting dangerous waters again now.
But then, I think then if Americans come over here, they must think we sound bizarre because we've got a lot of accents in the UK.
Well, I can tell you this for a fact that when I went round with David, again, the Australian lad that's in Gaijin Club, the two of us went off together for a bit, went touring around. Everyone we spoke to thought either we were both Australian or both British. None of them could tell us apart. And our accents could not sound any more different.
You sound totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's weird. It's probably where they're from in the United States would be my guess.
Well, it was all around New York, and no one.
They're all from native New York.
Yeah, this was just while we were in New York City, and no one could tell us apart. And it didn't help that I just decided screw it and put on an Australian accent just to screw with them. So,
okay, well, now that's just you.
Well, yeah, that was later, but at first it just got really annoying because they're going, "Oh, you both from Australia?" No.
Maybe if you were from up north, then they may not have said that because obviously up north they talk slightly different.
Well, that's true.
But we're from down south. I don't think we have much of an accent. We probably do, but we don't have an accent compared to up north and Wales and
that's
and all
fair.
that.
That's a fair shout. Or like Yorkshire or whatever. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've been to the UK before. I can definitely tell the difference in regions, but I feel like living in America, I can go to the next state over and they sound totally different from me. I can go across the country and they sound totally different. Like we have like so many different accents. It's bizarre. You know?
Oh, yeah.
People don't really know where I'm from. They have no idea unless I tell them. Because they're like, I don't understand where your accent is. Are you New York? Are you Boston? Or what are you? It's kind of funny because I don't really have one. But like one of my friends, he's from the South, and you can tell for sure that he's from Tennessee. But Tennessee South sounds very different to me than like Georgia South or South Carolina South. So it's like different. It's odd. It's very odd.
It is curious. I believe we were talking about who...
We were talking about the ladies.
Women who we wanted to main event. We've now got onto accents and language. So
well, we're talking about Ruby Riott.
I love this. I love this thing. It's so weird. Cool. So who were your picks? Queen?
Oh, me?
Yeah, what was yours?
Oh, I want Nikki Cross, Ember Moon, Ruby Riott. I really would like to see Ember Moon versus Becky Lynch, and I would like to see Nikki Cross. Oh man, really against anybody. I doesn't matter to
Charlotte Flair, just to ruin her a little bit.
me. No, I don't mind Charlotte Flair. You know, I think she gets painted with her father's brush a little too much. The girl's talented on her own. She's, you know, she does things that not a lot of people do. Is she the best women's wrestler in the world? No, but she's, I think, very talented in her own right. And a lot of it, though, does come from who she is. And as far as Ronda Rousey's concerned, she won't be here in time for the next Evolution anyway, which if they're going to do it in the same time, which is October, so which is good. I think she came a long way in a year. I don't really think she's a great wrestler, but she's come a long way since when she first started till now.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be just nice to not have her on the telly for a bit.
Yep. I think that's probably a good thing for everyone involved. Oh, you know who's my other one? Here's what I want to see. I want to see a title versus title match. Shayna Baszler versus Toni Storm.
Ooh.
Both NXT titles. That's what I want. Thank you very much.
Yes, like that.
Yeah,
Just
very good.
Yeah. Shayna Baszler should definitely be coming up with.
God, I love her.
They should have the 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen thing. Totally.
Yeah, but
It's probably not going to happen, but you know, it would be nice.
Or what they did at War Games. They should have done a women's match like that.
Now, see, there's an idea. I like
that's
that.
what I was gonna say too.
Really?
That's awesome.
See,
yes, I would love that.
It was an incredible match, that was. And if they did it with the women, oh my God, it'd be mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It was mind-blowing. It was.
There's still no reason why they couldn't, especially with all the Worlds Collide stuff going on now where they're taking people back and forth.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
I will put my hat into the ring on that one as well. I think that's a great idea.
That's a super idea.
WWE, if you're listening, listen to this. This is what we want.
If they're one of my
Give us what we want.
If they're one of my 62, what is it you want?
Give me what I want.
What a dry mic. If they're one of my 62 subscribers, then I'm sure they're listening, but otherwise, I doubt it. I mean, they've not exactly listened so far. Oh well,
that's all right. We'll get the word out. Don't you worry.
It'll come up sometime.
Yeah, spread that.
Oh dear. Right. Well, I think on that idea, I think that's a great way to go to the next spin of the wheel. What do you think?
Perfect.
So now
next, it can only be me.
Well, yeah, and that is true. And you see, last time this happened, and there was one person left, I was made to spin it anyway, because there was all this nonsense talk of it being rigged, and somehow people expected it to still come up as me, even though there was one name left. So, would you like me to spin the wheel again, or?
Go on, spin it. Just see if it comes up as you.
It's not going to. All right, I'll spin it again. And oh dear, what a surprise! It came up as me. No, I'm joking. It's come up as you, Charlie. So, shock of all shocks. What would you like to bring to the table?
All right, mine has got to be because you've already used one of mine.
Aha! I knew this was happening.
Sorry.
my main was the women. But my second choice was Kofi Kingston. What is going on there with his title? Like, what happened? Why do you think it's happened?
So
is my question.
But how did we get to this point from him
How
being...
did we get to it?
Yeah.
How did we get there?
So the televisual way of talking about this is that he was obviously just a part of the New Day, doing nothing, pottering along, doing their thing, throwing pancakes at people and whatnot. And then there was a groundswell of fan support, and they decided, shit, we might have another Daniel Bryan thing on our hands, so we better get behind it this time. And then tried to do all the screwy booking under the sun, which got rightly shit on by everybody. And then they realised we actually have to give this guy the main event now, because otherwise, or the title shot, because otherwise the fans are just going to turn on us completely. Therefore, he got the match, and that's not to take away from his talent in the slightest, because I've been a massive Kofi mark since he debuted in ECW way back when. I feel like the feud he had with Randy Orton when they tore the house down at Madison Square Garden should have gone far further, involved titles back then, and it didn't. And realistically, the guy is in the spot I hate to use the word deserved, as I said on Queen's podcast, but the spot he's earned by being a solid journeyman for 11 years. That, in my opinion, is how we got to where we are.
Okay.
Well.
Oh, here we go.
So here's the thing. Mustafa Ali was supposed to have that spot.
Yes.
Now, Mustafa Ali got hurt. Okay. They want another high flyer. They need someone to put in that spot who they know is going to put on a good show. Reliable, certifiable. That's your pick. You got to go with Kofi, right? Every Rumble he's in, he creates a moment where he's, bouncing on his hands or jumping from the stairs to the barrier, whatever he does, right? To keep himself in the match.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's talented. People like Kofi. So they put him in. And he proved exactly why people need to love him more. He's so very talented. I've always been a Kofi fan, and I feel like a lot of people kind of forgot about Kofi a little bit. And then all of a sudden he puts on this showcase, and people were like, holy shit, this guy can go. And he really went in that match. And the people just snapped their little fingers, and that was it. They were like, this is our dude. This is what we want. And it took off from there. This was a great example of when WWE gets lightning in a bottle, and they bottle it, and they use it the right way. And they build and they build and they build until there was no other possible option for them other than to give Kofi that championship. The riot that would have happened if that didn't happen, oh my God, insane. The people wanted it. They listened to their fans, and they found the opportunity and found the time to give Kofi this amazing opportunity. He proved his spot. He earned that spot after all these years of dedication, absolutely. But also in this little time from that first match when it was supposed to be Mustafa until WrestleMania and beyond. He's great. And it's awesome for him to have this belt. And I hope it's not going to be cut short. I hope they let it ride for a little while.
So, obviously, that is a really important point, actually, that you've raised there with Mustafa Ali, Ali now. Tatiana Ali, or whatever he is. The point with that is, does he now get a shot at Kofi? Because they don't like doing their rematches anymore. We know that. So surely he, if he was going to be in that spot anyway, deserves a chance at the spot he lost through injury.
I would think so, but I think that they are going to put him versus Finn for right now. And I think they're going to have him chase the IC title.
Yeah.
Right. Because here's the thing. Even if Mustafa was supposed to have that spot, I don't know that they would have pulled the trigger on him to win it.
Yeah.
No, it's a bit too early for him, isn't it?
Right. Exactly. So, it makes sense for him if they want to build him as what they see for him as potential, which he has a ton of, then having him chase the second most prestigious belt, right, other than the top two, is that one. Yeah. That's a good spot for him to be in for now. And if, Kofi down the road still has the belt, which I hope so, then, hey, maybe later.
Definitely.
Yeah. Charlie, where do you stand on this then? Because obviously it's your topic. So what's your views on it?
Well, to be honest, as you said, Kofi's been in the business, 11 years now?
Mm-hmm.
Quite a long time. And he's never really had anything big. Yeah, he's had the IC once or twice. I can't really remember. But he's always been a B-carder, hasn't he? He's never... He puts on, like when you say the Royal Rumbles are always great to watch because he always throws something out the bag and it's always hilarious to watch. But this is such a humongous title. It's the biggest title on the roster. Well, on the show, isn't it? It's the WWE title. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much the same equivalent as the old school heavyweight championship. So, yeah, he does deserve it. He really, really does. But I feel I feel it's such a massive thing for Kofi to have, because he hasn't been properly wrestling for what, 4 odd years now. The New Day have been a tag team for what, 4 or 5 years, I think it is. 2014 they did.
Yeah,
I think
like
it was.
Mm-hmm, something like that.
So he hasn't been a singles contender for a very long time. So I think it's a massive push for him, and I'm afraid that WWE can completely screw him, because they like to do that. He deserves it, but he's going to get screwed. We all know it, don't we?
No,
I'm a little afraid of that, yes.
Yeah, but it's sort of going to happen, isn't it? Because, well, to be honest, Daniel Bryan, he didn't get screwed, he got injured. Roman Reigns didn't get screwed, he got injured. Seth Rollins got injured. But these are all humongous stars who they worked their way up, and it was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. And Kofi Kingston was sort of like, whoa, what the heck? Like, this wasn't expected. The next champion I thought was going to be someone like KevinOwens, for crying out loud, because he was going there before he went off on injury, wasn't he?
Yeah,
and then he's come back.
I think that was the intention.
What's going on there? So I'm thinking now, because Kevin Owens has become an honorary member of the New Day, I think he's going to be the one that's going to screw Kofi over.
Probably. I think the obvious booking train has left the station and is now cruising on its destination to probably SummerSlam, I would think.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless they go even quicker than that, and the next pay-per-view. What's the next one? Is it Money in the Bank, the next one? Or?
Yeah, it is, baby. Well, I'm being there.
There you go. Oh, nice. Well, there you go. That's where that kicks in then.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think Kofi is well deserving of it, but I'm just afraid of what the outcome's going to be.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be a pretty one.
So let's throw this as a bonus topic then. So we've got Money in the Bank coming up. Who do you feel is going to win the men's Money in the Bank and destroy Kofi for the title?
Who says it's Kofi?
Yeah.
I feel like they'll give him that run up to the next pay-per-view, I think. And then
would it be Kofi, or would it be someone wanting to go up against Seth? Because he's got the
Seth's due a long run. And you can only have one main champion that gets the long run in WWE's logic.
True, but you can have the Money in the Bank briefcase for a year before you cash it in. So,
do you not feel like they would turn around and go, right, you're going to win it and cash it in on Kofi, and we'll get all this nipped in the bud and get on with it?
They could, but I have a feeling Brock Lesnar's coming.
Nah, he's toast. He's done.
I don't think so.
Did you see the shape he was in at Mania? He's getting fight ready for UFC.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
he
glad
is too.
he's not in the roster at the moment, because he is a terrible champion.
He
Never
is.
that about ever. When Roman went off because of the cancer, and they gave it to Brock, I just thought, why? There were so many people that deserved it, and they should have done like a sort of a Royal Rumble style match to get someone that deserved the belt. But no, they just gave it to Brock. He didn't even work for it. It was just, there you go, Brock. There's your belt back again. It's like, oh great.
So here's my question for you. So this UFC thing that he's going to be fighting, do we know when that is?
I think the talk was summertime.
They are summertime, aren't they? The big ones.
You know what would be interesting?
Go on.
You know how Vince really wants Brock Lesnar to go in with the WWE title on his shoulder to the UFC?
So you think he's a surprise Money in the Bank?
I think, depending on when this fight is, he may get that WWE belt, and he may walk into UFC with it, because it's not the Universal one. It'll be the actual WWE title. And I think that's what they want. And I think he'll drop it after that. But that's what I'm thinking. They've got it off him now because it needed to happen. Because he's got to go away and he's got to do his thing. And they want to let Seth do his thing, blah, blah, blah. But I got a bad feeling That's where they're leaning. I'm really hoping I'm wrong. Like, please prove me wrong. But that's my gut reaction. I don't know if he's going to win at Money in the Bank. I think they're going to let that be someone else. But he's going to.
SummerSlam's August. So you're looking at August the 11th and 12th that weekend.
Right. And
Toronto.
If that fight is after that, I'm just saying.
Yeah. I
just thought.
I don't like that idea, but I feel like that's the sort of thing that they do.
Don't you think it was something Vince would do?
Yeah. If he'd call them the Viking Experience, he'd definitely book that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I hope not.
That'd be bad.
Yeah. I think
so bad.
Money in the Bank, I feel like Sami Zayn could hold the case.
That's what I was thinking too.
And then cashes in on Kofi. And then Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
Yeah, because Sami's gone heel, hasn't he?
He has very much so, and was cheered out of the building for it.
Well, he's in Montreal. You know that's going to happen.
He was cheered at Raw after WrestleMania as well.
Oh, yes. Well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, definitely. I can see that happening.
Yeah, I'd rather see that than Lesnar, to be honest.
I would too.
Anything other than
Sami
bring
Zayn.
back Santino.
Oh god.
Oh god, no.
Rather than Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar just no.
I know, it's so bad, isn't it?
So who's your pick, Charlie?
For the men's, I'm liking your idea of Sami Zayn, definitely. Again, they are promoting Bray Wyatt here. Mm-hmm. So I do love Bray Wyatt. I think he could be a nice one to win it. I think that'd be quite good because he's been out for a while, but he was getting there. He needed a title of some kind. He hadn't had one. So I feel he could win the Money in the Bank. I think that would be a good one. Bray Wyatt, definitely. Just bring him in there.
Yeah.
Throw him in there.
You've just helped me out because I've just realised how they're doing this Sister Abigail angle, and it's suddenly dawned on me just then. The last time we saw Bray Wyatt, where was he?
He was with Matt Hardy.
But where did he end up?
Oh yeah,
in the Lake of Reincarnation.
He did.
So they had that match, didn't they, where he was Sister Abigail, like he took on that persona.
Right.
So she essentially is part of him and vice versa. So by being thrown into the lake, both of them went into the lake.
And both of them come out?
Both of them have been reincarnated.
Ta-da!
I like this idea.
So we're now going to get Nikki Cross as Sister Abigail and carrying a little baby Bray Wyatt with a beard and dreadlocks. That'd be awesome. I love it. So,
I can't.
Just little dummy in his mouth, and he pops it out and goes, "Follow the buzzards," and then that'd be amazing. Cool. Oh well, I think that's pretty good there. I think we've booked the next 10 years of WWE television pretty well. So this is
women's Money in the Bank.
Huh?
Who do you think? Who do you think would win the women's Money in the Bank?
Oof.
I think Ember Moon.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. Either her or Naomi, to be honest. Because
they're so underrated.
Yeah, Naomi would be cool because she'd get some sort of light up, glowing briefcase.
Oh God!
You know how WWE loves their merch.
I'm tired of that glow gimmick. She needs a new thing, honey.
She does.
Repackage that. I think Ember Moon or Ruby Riott.
Ember Moon's definitely.
Well, it depends on what brand they're going to put it on, right? Which brand are they going to put the briefcase on? I think is the real thing.
I know. So technically, they should have 4 matches. They should have a Money in the Bank, 2 Money in the Bank for the men for the WWE and the Universal, and then they should have 2 for the women for the WWE. Well, for the Raw and the SmackDown. But that'd just be
they won't. Yeah.
Do we not just stick? Can we not just stick it back on the Mania card and have both of them there?
Yeah.
I kind of like it as its own pay-per-view.
I don't know. I liked it being at Mania because it gave you the possibility that someone would cash in the main event. And okay, yeah, they can still carry the case for a year, but it kind of ruins the surprise if they've held it for like 9 months or whatever it is, and then, or even, no, what's that, 11 months before they cash it in at Mania. Because if they held on to it that long, they're going to cash it in at Mania.
Sure.
Well, that's what Seth did, didn't he?
Yeah.
He came in at Mania, didn't he?
He did.
Either that or have it later in the year.
Yeah.
You know, at October time or something like that.
I think it's interesting to have it right after because they've closed out their storylines, right? And they're starting these new storylines. Now that the new storylines and everything is shaken out, now it's time to set up your chaser. Who's going to be the chaser for the title, plural, and who's going to be that, you know, Miss or Mr. Money in the Bank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
definitely.
I kind of like it here, but that's
fair.
just me.
Well, I mean, that's something we can definitely get into on another episode of Fans Roundtable. I think, no doubt, there'll be all sorts of fire and hellfire and brimstone, as JR used to say.
Yes, indeed.
Cool, right. Well, normally what I like to do is finish these things on a positive, as you know. This time I'm going to do it a little different because you're both my guests. You can have a little moment to plug yourselves, so to speak, and put over whatever it is that you'd like to put over about what you do. So, Charlie, do you want to go first?
Okay. Yeah. Right. Well, as I said at the beginning of the show, I am a photographer. You can find me over at Facebook or Instagram at C.Delanoy Photography. I'll get Rich to stick my little link on his thingy because otherwise you won't be able to spell it.
Stick my little link on his thingy. That's exactly what's going to go in the description of this video.
My words today. I know. It's the words. They're not coming out. They're in my head, but they're not coming out my mouth.
I will post your links to social media in the description of the video. How's about that?
That sounds perfect.
Excellent.
You've got the words straight out of my head. But yeah, check out all that because I do photography for wrestling, boxing, all sporting events, all music events if I can get to them, and portraits and whatnot. And yeah, that's what I mainly do. So check out Delanoy Photography.
Yeah.
And give me a little like.
Oh, we do like a little like.
A little like.
Excellent. And Queen?
Well, thanks, Rich, for having me on again. It was my pleasure, so I appreciate it.
No worries.
You all can find me at The Queen of NE on Twitter or at XTheQueenofNE on Instagram. I am on 2 shows. The first, I co-host DYWTSB, the Did You Write This Stuff Bro podcast with my boys, Pops and Mort. We discuss everything, Raw, SC Live, pay-per-views, a little bit of NXT. I'm trying to bring them to the light. And we're found on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify every single Friday. It's a heck of a lot of fun, and I hope you check it out. And then you can find me on my own show, which Rich was just a guest on. It's called Queen's Court on Brainbuster Radio, and you can find that at Brainbuster Radio on Twitter and Instagram. My show drops every single Wednesday, and you can find me iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you'd like. I'm there. And I hope you check it out. It's a super fun show, lots of interviews, analysis, and a really good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're quite right. I was a guest on there. Turned heel, had an absolute blast. So it was a lot of fun. And you
put
me through my paces on that show. So
well, I try.
And indeed you succeed. And I just want to say thank you to you both for coming on. It's a shame that we didn't have Jess with us, but I'm sure she'll be around for another one of these in the future if we survive that long to actually get another one of these done.
Oh no. I hope so.
Oh, I'm doing my best. Anyway, yeah, if you want to check out more of this kind of clusterfuck, then you can find me on YouTube. Smack Talk is on YouTube, at SmackTalk_UK on the Twitter, on the Facebooks, and on the Instagrams. Obviously, go to smacktalk.co.uk to buy all your decent-ish knockoff merch. What else have we got? Other crap that you can follow me at Rich Baker Draws on Twitter. Obviously, give it a subscribe, a like, whatever else you can do on this thing. Notification bell, stick that on if you want. And yeah, just remains to say thank you once again to the ladies for joining me today, and we'll see you on the next one.